Hi everyone, my name is Katie Jane and welcome to the PDS Model UN page. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about opening speeches. So what is an opening speech? How do you deliver one? Why is it important? Etc. So first off, let's talk about when you'll be giving your opening speech. There are going to be a lot of moments for you to speak during the conference, but the opening is obviously the first time. So this happens at the very beginning and is a good way for you to provide a first impression of who you are, what you care about, and why the chair should pick you for an award, why you're a good speaker. So the list of those who are going to be delivering opening speeches is called the speakers list, and you want to get on that list for the reasons I just listed. Of course, if you can't, that's totally fine. It just helps you to be on it. And if you don't give an amazing opening speech, that's also okay. You can still do well. But again, it's always really helpful to make a good first impression for both the chairs who are judging you and the committee who you're going to have to collaborate with. So within your speech, you need to include a few different elements. First, you need a hook. So you need to start off with something that will draw the audience in. This can be a startling statistic. For example, 800 million people worldwide have been affected by the impacts of climate change. Or a dramatic story. So, imagine a boy who was forced to leave his home and lost his family because of the effects of climate change. Next, you want to include your perspective. So, what is your country doing? Why do you care? And what do you ultimately hope to achieve through this conference? So, what do you want the committee to do about this issue? Now, at most conferences, there are going to be two different issues, two different topics that your committee needs to address. So you need to take this time in the beginning to say which you should address first, because the committee decides that as a whole and then votes on it. So use your opening to say that, and use when you're giving your perspective to say that it's really important we address topic A over topic B, or vice versa. Next, include an acknowledgement of both issues. So even though you're saying that topic A is more important than topic B, the chairs chose these topics for a reason because they care about them. So it's still really important to acknowledge the validity of both. For example, saying regulating chemical weapons is so important, but there's a clock on our Earth, and if we don't fight climate change now, it will kill billions. Works because you're looking at it saying, okay, chemical weapons is an important issue, yes, but this one is more important, and here's why. Finally, include a very brief conclusion. Thank you, and please send the delegation of the United States a note if you would like to discuss further. It's not the end of the world if you don't get to this. In fact, it's perfectly fine. But if you have a few extra seconds, it's always nice to conclude. Now, here are some noteworthy elements to remember when writing your speech. First, your speech will likely be somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute, so plan for that range. Typically, I'll write a 45 second to a minute long speech, but have a few sentences I can cut out. So then if I get there and they're like, oh, actually your speech is only 30 seconds, I can shrink my speech so that I can still speak and finish my speech in the given time. Make sure it goes vice versa though, because if you have a minute long speech and you can only speak for 30 seconds, that doesn't look too good. Filling up the time is really important. Next, you cannot address yourself in the first person. So get rid of the I think this, I am this. Instead, you are now representing a country. So you refer to yourself in speeches as the delegation of blank. For example, if I'm the delegation of the United States, I would say, the delegation of the United States believes it is imperative to blank. Finally, do not talk about your solutions in your opening speech. Someone might steal them, and that does not work for you. So instead, mention what you want the committee to achieve in very broad terms. For example, we need to focus on environmental racism and preventing the effects of climate change from hurting developing countries. Notice how I don't actually give any solutions there. I'm not saying what we should do, just what we should focus on and why. So, and I said finally before, but here's the real finally. You can bring notes up to speak if you need that. It's all right. You don't need to completely memorize your speech. Just if you do, make sure you're not reading off of your notes. So do not just have a piece of paper in front of you or below. Know your speech to at least some extent so that you can engage with your audience and make eye contact and do hand gestures. Those are all really important to show that you're a good speaker who came prepared. Thank you so much, and that's all.